Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Jen who reads, and today I'm going to show off my bookshelf that I have in my middle school classroom and show you some of my favorite books that are on it. So I teach middle school in the state of Florida, and the state of Florida puts out 15 recommended books for elementary and then another set for middle school every year. They're called the Sunshine State Readers. So this shelf that I have here, let's see if I can, it goes all the way down. These are most of the books from the past 11 years or so. This is my 11th year teaching here. And then these books all the way up here, all the way at the top, those, if you can see, are my banned books that I have in the classroom. I try to get as many banned books as I can into the hands of my students because I think that that's really important. So today I'm just going to go over a few of my favorite books that I like to recommend for my middle schoolers to read. And maybe you have a middle schooler at home and you can recommend some of these books as well. All right, so first up I have this book. It's called Echo. I do have the dust jacket off of it and I've lost it. But this is a historical fiction book and it has a little bit of fantasy elements involved as well. It's pre-World War II and it follows 3 sets of children throughout their lives, and there is a magical harmonica that sort of is tied to all of the stories, and it sort of ties them together. I think this is really good because a lot of middle school books and a lot of middle schoolers do not include historical fiction, and I think that this is just a really easy way to get that into their hands. It looks really thick, but if you look at the pages, the margins are wide and there's not a lot of words on a page, so it is a pretty quick read even though it's kind of chunky. All right, let's see. Speaking of historical fiction, I have Jennifer A. Nielsen's Words on Fire. This is another historical fiction about a group of people in a community who are trying to save books from being burned, and they have sort of like an underground library. This girl is the main character and her parents are involved, and she sort of becomes involved much to the chagrin of her parents and has to show her bravery, and so it just follows her story. Jennifer A. Nielsen also has a few other books that are historical fiction, but this is the only one that I've read. Let's see here. We have The Books of Umber. This is actually, it's a book 1. I think it's a trilogy, but it might be 4 books, but I'm not sure. It's been a little while since I've read them. And this is in a fantasy world. So we have this boy right here. His name is Happenstance. And I can't remember a whole lot about this book, to be honest with you, except that I really liked it. And when I read it to my class, they really liked it. But what I really like about it is there's a connection between this fantasy world and our world. And so when we get to that part of the book, my students are always pretty much blown away because they had no idea. So, Books of Umber. This was on last year's book list. This is Amari and the Night Brothers. They did just release a second book, but I haven't read this one yet. I really like this one because I feel like it's a mix of Harry Potter and Men in Black. So we have Amari. Her brother is going to a private school. He goes missing. Come to find out, it was a magic school, and now they are enlisting Amari's help to help find him. It's sort of like Hogwarts because it is a magic school. Her roommate is a dragon, which is pretty neat. But it's also like Men in Black because she finds out that people that she's known her whole life, some of her friends or her parents' friends or her neighbors, are not exactly human, but humans on Earth are just like glamored or something so that we don't see them as their true selves. So that's, you know, kind of brings in the Men in Black vibe. So this is Amari and the Night Brothers. All right, here we have a graphic novel. This is When Stars Are Scattered. This is based on a true story. Victoria Jameson and Omar Muhammad. This story is actually about Omar and his brother. So he helped write this book. The graphics in it are really interesting. They're really colorful. And this book is just about them growing up in a refugee camp in Kenya. All right, here we have The Lions of Little Rock. One of my favorite books to read with my middle schoolers is kind of a tough book, and that's To Kill a Mockingbird. And a lot of my students ask for recommendations of books that are similar, and this is one that I always recommend. So this is about two little girls who are just trying to navigate their friendship during a time of segregation. So The Lions of Little Rock is one that I recommend. Let's see. A lot of you have probably read this or have heard of this. This is Cinder. This is a futuristic Cinderella retelling. So this one is really popular, and it's a whole series. I think there's like 5 books in this one. The next one is actually an author who I recommend. You can tell that this one has been read a lot. It's missing its front cover. But that's Gordon Korman. Every book I've ever read to my class or have had them read by Gordon Korman has been super relatable. They can definitely find themselves in one or more of the main characters, and on top of that, it's humorous. So everything that I've ever read by Gordon Korman is definitely a hit. And the last one that I have is Skandar and the Unicorn Thief. This is a new one this year to the list, and I believe the sequel just came out. So this is about Skandar, and in the world in this book, magic and unicorns have been revealed recently in the near past. And so Skandar finds out that his mom, his parents, his family are related to unicorns and people who ride unicorns. And I'm doing a really horrible job at telling you what this book is about. So just go ahead and pick it up and read it for yourself. I think that even parents would like this book. So this might be a good book to read with your middle school child. That's all I can think of to show you right now. Like I said, we have a whole list, and I definitely recommend checking out. You can just Google Sunshine State Readers, and you can get all the back lists. And you know, Florida does a lot of things wrong as far as education goes, but this is one thing that Florida really does right. And to give you a little bit of an idea, there was a list that was put out during the summer, really close to the beginning of the school year, and it was a list of books that were being challenged by the state of Florida. And there were almost more than half, maybe like 9 or 10 of the 15 books that are on this year's school list were on that list. And so I think that it just goes to show that the people who choose the books to go on this list every year, they are doing a really good job at picking books that are a wide range of genres for every reader, but also a lot of these books tackle tough issues, and I think that that's just really important for readers. Again, anytime you can get a banned book into a child's hand or your own hand, I definitely recommend it. And that's all I have to tell you guys today. So I am going to do another video in the coming months about my favorite books to read aloud to my middle schoolers, and so I'm really excited about this one that's coming up. So if you have any middle school recommendations for me, I would love to hear it. Follow me on my social media, and thank you for watching.